Sorry for the delay, guys. I know, because Hufflepuff Egg, it might end up being 8 parts long. There will be less rhetoric, don't worry, but it will still be a nice initiation. Do not worry if you are, going through in the right time, and there's go a couple days into Gryffindor to get the Hufflepuff Egg complete. That's more important than going straight into Gryffindor. All right. I did the Hopi healing technique, the Hopi heart, or it was done on me. And the breakthroughs that I've gotten through over the last couple days through Earthstar. Through Earthstar of Earthstar of Earthstar of Earthstar, like deep, grounded. That came through. So, yay. Including the love genome. So we're gonna all turn on our love genomes. And I think I'm gonna do this for the Snakes and Ladders for Netzach. The one I haven't gotten the Snakes and Ladders for Netzach done yet. And it will be the I don't love. Because the Slytherins kind of need it. My love genome was on, at least in the active space. In the passive space, it's like, that's why I receive crap from most people, including myself. But in the active space, it was pretty hardy. The thing is that when you do your genome and you can see all the spine, if you're starting to get the downloads of like the spinal column that goes all the way into the center of the earth through Earthstar and then all the way into the heavens, at least into like Andromeda Galaxy. Like to have that level of genome turned on. And then if you can go from the Andromeda Galaxy into the God form, that's high. That's some like high magic. So turn on that love in the active, like love. I love, and it will take a while. It will, if you need to meditate. Maybe if you're very advanced, then it won't take a while. But you'll see all the light switches turning on. And then I like not love being turned off. Oh, now I'm getting the download for what I got from Hathor too. So we're gonna do that genome in a minute. Sometimes I have like things I need to work through before we get the next layer, but I remember that I like wanted to do it, but I couldn't remember to write it on the list. Shit like that. All right, so then you turn no love off. If you want to do it with your wand, that's cool. Sometimes I just do it like this. Dig into the spinal column and go pop, and then shift 30 at a time, maybe 60, 30 is good. The ones going into the core of the earth are harder. Maybe not. Maybe for some people, the really grounded people, those are easier, and the higher realms are harder. But some little troll fairy. And you guys talk to me so much in the astral planes, and you guys give me so much fucking feedback, and it's so unself-realized. Because you guys, because you don't even have the audacity to like look at yourself and go, I don't have my love genome turned on all the way. But I'll come into Kaliren's space, astral project, and torture her to tell her she does not love. The biggest thing is the racist stuff. Like my genome's completely off, basically. And people coming in and torturing me that I'm a racist. And their racist genomes are flaming. And it's just so gross. Even Dalai Lama's a fucking racist. See, if you can see Dalai Lama's racist genomes, they're still on. But that's the next genome we're going to turn off. It's okay, Dalai Lama. You're allowed to be a racist. We're going to have to turn those things off, though. You can't do Hufflepuff and be a racist. So all your genomes have to be turned off. So, and then on the reverse side, so if all, make sure you look in racism or racist, and if it's turned on actively, like I had one little piece of my DNA in my butt. Like, you guys are assholes. And then racism being turned off. So you're flipping it to the left side, into the blue, all the way down into the core of the earth. I don't care what skin color you guys have. It just doesn't fucking matter to me. Turn off your fucking race genomes today. There's no tolerance. Racist genomes, sorry. You can get away with it in, like, not in Hufflepuff. You can get away with it in Slytherin. Not in Hufflepuff. This is before the Hufflepuff initiation. So if you know people that are doing the initiation videos that aren't doing the eggs, they're not really getting the initiations. Just know that. I mean, they're getting the initiations, but the amount of magic that comes through the eggs is like 50 times more, 100 times more than the crap initiations. And that maybe that's all the other people can handle. And they'll just have to do the work at another day, etc., etc. Now, if you're one of my apprentices or something, or one of my slavas, and you want to look and see who's doing the initiations of the astral plane and turn off their racist genomes, you can. Especially if they've done Hufflepuff initiation. So, you know, that's just what happens. So make sure that's turned off, and then like turn on non-racist. Now that was the energy coming from Hathor. And it's like a honey gold energy coming through. Ooh, and it feels nice, non-racist. And turn that on. Now this is the cheaper way of doing it. But it still works. We've got to get to the point where we see beyond people's color or exterior and see their character and their virtues and their vices instead. We need to especially in Gryffindor, like you have to be able to see somebody's karma even if they're a different color and maybe have to shove some really hard truths down their mouths. because that's the responsibility of Gryffindor. So it's easier when you're not in a racist space to be able to, one, heal somebody, and two, be able to tell somebody their fucking karma. So to take a deep breath in and exhale. You're going to need to feel grounded and protected, you know, to even go in those areas. Unless you're like a Jack Sparrow type of person or a Hermes. Okay? So Hermes has a very good grin, and that's what I do. It's that clever trickster shit and like get the hell out. Because you know that somebody's going to want to stab you, shoot you, punch you, everything, because that's what they do to messengers. And when you hear the statement, don't shoot the messenger, it's just always expect the worst for delivering a crap message. And just remember this, Star likes to say, their patterns will lie, cheat, steal, and kill to prevent from being broken. So they would rather kill you than even admit a truth. And if you come from that space, boy, do you learn, like, you're gonna learn how to cover your ass. When your love genomes are turned on, you can like go into the self-healing space. It's nice. So another grid we're setting for Hufflepuff is the karma healing that in TIPHARETH your karma begins to heal. You might even get to the place of no karma in TIPHARETH. So if you've gotten this far, that should be a huge reward of all the slave work you've done. Slave, being shot, stabbed, raped, crucified, lifetime after life, burned to death, you know, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So if you're here, boy, you've done work. Spiritual work. So good. I started this video yesterday and I started bawling when I delivered these messages. And then I hadn't hit record and I was like, crap. Because how emotional and cathartic it was to even get to this space of like the possibility that you might be now crawling out of hell. Physically. Where you don't have to live double lives. So I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that that happens. There were a couple things that I wanted to talk about. I'm not sure if I want to bring up the wand. This, by the way, is not oil, it's water. I washed my hair today, but I was trying to tame it before I started doing video, just in case you think I'm just like a greasy, gross person. Okay. Sometimes I wear makeup just to prove a point that I'm not a greasy, gross person. From the first point today and yesterday, I'm feeling like I'm now energetically in the clear and that the hell realms are being contained through Malkuth. They're not cleaned yet. We'll do that in Gryffindor. But they're being contained. That means the lower selves are beginning to heal. So, I started typing in Hufflepuff intro on notes, on the notes on my Apple, and it goes Shufflepuff intro. And I just think of Shrek. It's just like shuffle. It's Hufflepuff. Man, there's so many things going on with Hufflepuff. It's funny. But shuffle it's like going between Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, 5th House download. That's weird. Slytherin. Ah! Like it's like a melting pot. So there's a lot of lessons to come through. All right. I started the last video by showing some of the pieces of yew wood that I was gonna make wands with. This one's a little thin. If somebody wants a thin wand, but it's still strong. Putting like 20 pounds of pressure here. It's still a strong piece of wood. And then there's this one. Even just having a handle that has a crook is kind of nice, but I'll figure out how to do these. I've got some nice pieces, and I'll go back to the yew forest, but I was talking about the law of attraction and how going to the yew forest where the trees might be 2,000 up to 2,000 years old. Some of the sites say 1,000, 900, 500. The thing about yew is that it's very challenging to determine the age, because what it does is it actually freezes through time and begins to not grow, like it's in claymation through certain years. And so it might be actually up to 2,000 years old, and we just don't know. But there's a lot of spiritual magic in those trees, and they've seen a lot of things. The Druids used to go worship there. So, and there's just like old historic magic, just like the old historic magic in Glastonbury, but these are through trees. So it's nice to have like a wand where you're like, this is 1,000 years old, or from a tree, that is. And then you start to download your 1,000-year-old self, at least in the astral planes. And you go, oh man, perspective, wisdom, perspective. So like elder wisdom, you know? The wisdom that goes, I can make this Kabbalah class now a 10-year program. Kabbalah 99 3/4, another 10-year program. You guys can tap out at 3 years. That would be a nice pause, but then I can still do it more. And then Kabbalah 300, maybe a 3-year program, maybe a 10-year program. And then Kabbalah 400, 128-year program. That's what happens with people with wisdom and good karma. When you're actually connected to God, and then you have up, Kabbalah 800. So I'm getting the newer downloads. And then I have Mother Andromeda come through and goes, why don't you just make Kabbalah 99 30-year program? She does things like that. So it got to the point where I was talking about this stick. This one. It has so much memory. It's a piece of shit. Like it will snap. Like I'm putting a half of a pound of pressure on it, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can break it, right? It's fragile. But it's a piece of oak coming from Jim Barry's front yard. Fallen from the oak tree. And I picked it up off the ground after being abandoned and cast away from the world. After a hunger strike, my family would just rather have me fucking die. Nobody cares. Nobody cared that I starved to death on a beach. Nobody cared that I stood up for anything that's actually divine. They're all buying into the matrix and their selfishness and etc. And I pick this up and I go, man, this stick, it's like my inch of hope. I made this stick more important than any of you. It was me and God and the dragons. After being tortured for a decade, trained, cast aside, and abandoned from my own lineage. I made a stick more valuable than anything on the planet. So, this planet is godless unless I bring God here. Or somebody's better than me. Then there will be two of us, and then it will be we bring God here. I think there are a few. On that note, there's a tribe in Africa. They are an indigenous tribe. I did a post on my Facebook once upon a time on this tribe, and I believe it's in Africa, but it was a post done in 2012, around then, about the time I worked at Huge. And the tribe was so intelligent and human and empathetic that within one criminal, let's say a guy decided to try to rape one of the women of the tribe, okay? Just one act of criminal intention, even, probably. And the tribe would sit around in a circle and pray for the criminal or the lost member of their tribe. Pray for him or her until they healed. There might have been shame, but even then they'd have to heal through the shame. No man left behind. Not one in that tribe. That's the baseline for TIPHARETH and Hufflepuff. The baseline. You belong to that tribe. You do not get left behind. You don't get cast away. You're given a couch to sleep on if you need, until you pick yourself up. And you work, and you help, and you work, and you help. But you are a member of that tribe. And it doesn't matter the crap you go through. That tribe takes responsibility like a family and goes, we will get through this together. That's the baseline for Hufflepuff. That's unity consciousness. Nothing less. You see how the mystery school is definitely just Slytherin, and why the Mayan lineage might actually be able to possibly ascend into Hufflepuff? Okay. There is no poverty divide. Oh, poverty divide. That genome needs to be turned off. Oh my God, poverty divide. Does that mean I'm going to get to have money? Man. Oh my God. Can you even, like, what? Even just 30 grand a year. I could survive off of that. One of my favorite teachings was from a lady who did a wealth, so turn off poverty divide, who did a wealth study. And she goes, and believe me, I'm gonna fuck you lower it really intensely. If you're making 50 grand at least, that was the ultimate level of happiness, because your bills were paid and you could take care of yourself and you had some free money to do other stuff with and create a savings, right? Anything higher than $50,000 a year, there was no extra happiness. None. Zero. Zero. I have spent the last decade making $25,000 a year or less. And somehow find a way to eat shit. Well, mediocre people made way more than me. And still find a happy quality of existence. So, money ain't no thing, but, money ain't nothing. So poverty divide should be turned off. Not poverty divide should be turned on. Poverty equality or wealth equality should be turned on. So if you're a poor person, this might end up in your service. Okay. There's a flip side to the coin of taking no money for years or very little. You end up quality. You take pride, good pride in doing good work. And you put that forward. And you could never sell out. Ever. So, whatever mediocre crap people took the money ahead of time, while you put in the work and you took shit from the mediocre people, man, you're given a rope to climb to the top. And they're stuck at the bottom at the end of the day. And they end up matrix programmed robot muggles. And then you turn into a witch or a wizard. So there are two types of racism that will happen. And Hufflepuff, you know, they might not care about somebody's skin color, but they can tell the difference between somebody who's done the work and become a divine Adam Cadman race and someone who's just sold out to the fucking Matrix and stayed a muggle. They can be nice, but even remember, even Hermione in Gryffindor is like, we like our mutants and Hode. Those were choices. Those are choices. So, we can love them. All right, so that kind of racism will just stick around forever until, you know. But that's the difference between what a saint will be and a master. They'll all just have to be saints, because any of the ones that violently come after anyone are just going to be slaughtered. So they're going to just have to be saints. All right. Like the Slytherins aren't going to just go, bop, to some asshole muggle that's like going to turn into a reaver. Think of Goodney with power and a wand. He'll Avada the Kedavra the shit out of anyone. That's what's coming. All right. Sorry, truth hurts. So, make sure those genomes are set. We try to make the muggles Gryffindory, you know. They have better chances that way. But those Slytherins, they just have so much pride about being a witch or a wizard. You can't control them. One of the best downloads I got was some asshole psychically attacking me. And I was turning into my giraffe self, because that's the Hufflepuff version, right? No longer the snake, the Hufflepuff, so the giraffe. And it was, the download was, we do not go for far-reaching fruit. So we do not go for low-hanging fruit. A giraffe is naturally inclined to go for higher reaching fruit, because that's what they have attuned to. So like the long necks, the people who grow their intelligence so high into the divine. And so they kind of have that snake bobby head, like a giraffe, right? But they're a fluff ball, but they're strong. And some asshole psychically attacks me. And then I send a cobra to him. And the best download was this. Just because you insult a giraffe doesn't mean the giraffe isn't friends with the fucking cobra. They're on the same side, you know? Just, you want to insult Jesus? Jesus will send Lucifer. And none of you guys get that. You want to insult my friend, Freeman? He's Black Jesus, by the way. He is. Jesus pointed him out years ago, and nobody takes it seriously at all. No one. He is everybody's king, basically, on the planet. That's why his name is Free Man. He's too humble to even, acknowledge it. It's pretty funny. And he'll go straight into Gryffindor. So, with the Malachim and the kings, it takes one to know one. Okay, so we did the tribe in Africa. No man left behind. Not in the tribe. Everybody's got shit in Hufflepuff. Just think of it. You went through Slytherin, and now you're in Hufflepuff. Because you're not pure enough to be in Gryffindor. And you're not smart enough to be in Ravenclaw, or masterful enough to be in Ravenclaw. Okay, so you're stuck with Hufflepuff. That means you have shit. That means people are broken and need healed and healing. And there are so many Hufflepuffy tendencies with Star in the lineage. I have seen them up the wazoo. So, the amount of charity, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Some physically, a lot physically. It's contextual. All right. You do not leave people behind. You do not leave your apprentices to starve to death on a beach. Not Hufflepuff. Okay. And then what? At the end of the day, we're still friends with the Slytherins. All right. We look down on them, but we understand them, and we're still friends with them. we look down on them because we're Hufflepuff and they're not in Hufflepuff. You know, they made their choice. All right. The best thing Charlie ever said to me, one of them, was when I first met him, or first, had Charlie come into my awareness. And Charlie goes, "You are a queenie, but you are behaving like a karma." You guys need to heal all that karma behavior. It's cray-cray. Let me explain Queenie and karma. Star has 2 dogs, or had 2 dogs at the Dome. One was Queenie, a Rottweiler. Calm, considerate, temperate, love. Giant Rottweiler, right? Regal. She just wanted love. She wouldn't bite anyone. She'd barely play with people. But sweet. Tempered, grounded, deep. And then there was karma. Psycho. Love, but psycho. Psycho brain. Spinning and spinning and spinning. Always excited. 50,000 things. Always excited. Jumping on everybody. Biting people if we need to. Oh my God. You're going to take away the thing that's I'm got in my mouth. The stick of lamb. Okay. He'll turn into a wolf real fast. Okay. Queenie. Karma. Psycho. But love. Most of you guys, your brains are not queenies. Not even close. Your brains are karmas. And then it shows up in like the crap you guys buy. And the 50 trips to the grocery store. And then no good plans. And the 30 pairs of outfits that you just needed to get. Psycho. Oh, I need a new iPhone. It's all karma. I need 10 new pairs of shoes. Oh my God. Okay. I feel like I'm a karma when I buy 10 pairs of socks. And I have no socks. Not good ones, not warm ones. All right. Now we can begin. So maybe you want to turn on your Queenie genomes and turn off your karma genomes. Because in the Malachim, we're going to need to be blessed, right, with Archangel Raphael. And the Malachim. And just remember, that tribe in Africa, that's the baseline. Now, it's hard because we need to physically create the community. But we shall. So, turn off your carbon genomes. Oh my God, all the way up. Okay. We're going to start this first tower. We're at 51 minutes. This was needed. This wasn't needed. This is the intro. If you cannot sit through this, the idea that you're going to get the real Hufflepuff teachings is insanity. It's not insanity, it's just weird. All right. Get your 5 boxes up. With the pyramid at the top of the 5th box. Metal braids. Oh, you can go 5 boxes up and do the anchor balls. And then do the top of the anchor ball. Now, this is this tower. This is for the yolk component of the Rosy Cross egg. Now do the metal braids in between every anchor ball. And then go clockwise. Boom, 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 boom. To get the ceilings and floors. Take a deep breath in. And then throw the 4 boxes below and the anchor ball for the pyramid at the bottom. And then do the metal braids as I go and search. I want to search to see how many people actually did the homework. Got 8 Hopi Heart and 18 Rosy Cross Dragon Egg explained. That's good, but I don't know how many people watched it all the way through. So, and then some of those people might be in groups. I get feedback about lots of group watching. So, there. Get that tower set in, metal braids, and then go clockwise for the ceilings and floors. And get the metal pyramid. All right. Next, we have the central column all the way from the bottom to the top. And we have through every anchor ball the plugs, the support beams that plug in at diagonals into the central spine. I'm feeling the dragons begin to show up again. Charlie says it feels great. So, got the tower set up. If you want to protego totalum the tower, that's good. Just a nice little protego all the way up and all the way down. It starts to shift the vibrations in the tower, creates more support beams and a higher level of light coming through. Now, now I'm doing like the salviohexia. This is just a light one. There we go. Higher res. And it starts getting the salviohexia really strong through the tower, just the tower. And you can feel it all the way to the ground. And you might be able to start discerning between this ground and the ground beneath in the tower. And that's a nice thing. Okay, and then we go Fianto Duri, and we just throw the grape jellies all the way through. Man. There's so many people that hate me right now because of what I say. There's nothing like being bullied out of speaking truth that makes you feel like, oh my God. It makes me want to say it more. Especially when it's a spiritual teaching. Like not getting to reward Freeman for Jesus calling him an apostle. And I think that was what, 2016? My downloads from Jesus were like high vibe. Here you go. Point at Freeman and go, apostle. That would make him one of the most important people on the planet if people haven't done the logical calculations around it yet. And then you have to ask yourself, why? What is it about Freeman that's so just great? And how do I be more like that or better? All right. Now, let that energy through your root chakra come through. Okay, so we've got the primary tower set up. Let's get those wires growing from the central column going up through the tower, just so we can anchor it into the divine and into earth. So the central wires grow up, 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 through the top of the pyramid, through the pineal and the pituitary. And if you've really got the download, there are 2 holes through the pituitary, 2 spiral through. So you've got 3 holes up there. And then through the crown, anchor it through that pearl, and then send it up into the heavens, and then maybe you just see black tar, and then plug it into the black tar, and then grow it up. That black tar's protection. And then you grow it up, 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 until it crawls through the sky. Like the Hufflepuffs aren't going to get extra protection. And then it finds the pearls, and then it grows up. And then it... Yes, the more work you put in, the more love from God that you get. So when you cheap out on yourself, you're only cheating yourself. All right, and then we go up, 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 up. Yeah, our value systems on this planet are just totally screwed. Should be like divine protection and love should be like like first have do no harm. Like, here are my baby angels. Like, protect them. So that this is you coming back into the love of Christ God. By now, your child of God genome should have been turned on. And not child of God. You know, that... Okay. And then we send it more iterations, higher iterations, growing up to more pearls. It'd be like sending your kids out into a shit winter storm, you know, without the proper hats and coats and gloves. I got a new Limelighter download today, or yesterday, or the day before, about the false relationships. That the false mates or the false relationships that are limelighting the real ones. So that was the difference between the lime lighter and the pink lighter. It's also a guru versus God thing. Because I am still just a limelighter to God and Earth. And the dragons. And the man, Lucifer is so fucking funny. I'm just a limelighter to God. Okay. Getting those iterations until it finds the God form. So the highest marshmallow component. And mine still isn't popping into the God form yet. So I'm talking. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's just another iteration after another iteration. Okay, it's starting to plug into the marshmallow. Great, now go it from below. So all the wires go through the bottom, through the pituitary and the pineal, the two pituitary and the pineal, and through the bottom vertice. And then it plugs into Earth Star and Earth Star of Earth Star and Earth Star of Earth Star of Earth Star. It might have to go through the black tar again. If you see the black tar at a weird angle, that's because this is only one component of the egg. So it's probably taking it into account. Okay? Because mine is weird, right? A lot of the time I watch these videos or rewatch them before I post them. I believe by the time I hit Gryffindor, it's just going to go one shot post. The biggest lesson I've learned is if I'm afraid of speaking my truth, a hard truth that might be offensive to everyone, I might take the video down or want to edit it. But the problem is, by the time I edit it, the same fucking message still comes through. Because that's the message that needed to get spoken. And that could be months later. Yeah, you can't control a bitch who listens to God. Ever. There's a flip side to speaking hard truths, is that the people who actually do the work, and they're like, thank you. Thank you for saying things like that. Because they need credit for doing work. Like Freeman needs credit for his, my God. I believe Misty needs credit for her crap too. That will show up in Gryffindor because we're gonna watch her documentary. People who put in the work will be seen. I haven't done Misty's masterclass yet, but I will in Gaber. That will be nice. Okay, get it grounded and iterated and grounded and iterated. I'm having a problem with this one. It just gets stunted. Star needed credit for doing the work. She's done a lot of work. Keep growing until you hit the core of the earth. So when Simon was talking about the I don't want to say the virtues, the splendors or like the glories of earth, I forget what he called them, and I attributed it to the Seven of Cups teaching. Now we're getting into the core of the earth. There we go. And he attributed fame to one of them, and I go, fame, status. Fame is not a virtue. Especially when you're in like law of attraction space. On a planet that's considered hell. This is why the dragons say, little seen gets more done. All right. Starting to dig into the core of the earth now. I can feel it. So now our tower is anchored. Okay? Now, take the skeleton of this tower without the roots, and then put one on that side, one on that side, one on that side, and one on that side, and shrink them. And see if just imagine 4 new towers, make them smaller, and put them on each wall, a little bit separated. If you've done the Rosie Cross Explained, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, sucks for you. You didn't fucking do the work, which is my entire problem with everyone. And then make sure that central spine is glowing. Make sure the earth component is at the earth component. If you feel the egg drop to where it's 5 boxes below and 4 above, then that's cool, and that's a new download. Because the Hufflepuffers are more grounded than the Slytherins and more powerful. And this is just the, this is just the yolk component. So that's just the small towers. And if you see the wires growing up through the roots, what will happen is they'll actually start to just attach their higher wires to the central wires going up. So it will look like, here's a tower, here's another tower, and here is the middle tower. And all those roots growing up, it will like grow into this. Etc. And then same below. Some people love doing the work, Should we put the little men outside? Yeah. Just put a post in each component. So it's just one. It's just there like as a lightning rod. Because boy, once you've done that and you've built that, it's easy to replicate it where we're going to need to. All right. It's a little sloppy, a little bit. Just trying to make sure that all the earth plane stuff is good. I don't need wires from the little lightning rod men, but if you want, you can do it. And then if you want to just quickly draw a circle around all of it, like you're going to build a little egg yolk structure around all of it, we're going to Protego Totalum that. And then with the jelly, the pearlescent jelly, and we're going to contain the energy. And yep, we'll throw the dragon yolk on it when we do the salviohexia for the yolk. And then it feels good. Just the Protego Totalum with the jelly, and then we salvio heck. Oh my god, I finally feel like pretty stable. And maybe the energy from your lower root chakra starts to flow through, and you're like, oh yeah, that feels good. Maybe I feel safe. Maybe for the first time ever. If you're not there yet, just know that it's coming. We'll get there. All right. And then we go, oh my goodness. It's hard. And then we go, oh my god. Salviohexia. So the salviohexia honeycomb goo all over the yolk. It should start to feel like I have a free space to like create. Without a bunch of assholes like throwing shade at you. Maybe take a deep breath in. And it goes, if I want to create some dark shit, I can, as long as I kill it. That. That's what the Avada Kedavra curse is really for, by the way. So you can kill the dark shit that you might create. This is where you're still not in Gryffindor, because you might have to chase after it. You might not have set all the boundaries up ahead of time if you're going to create some dark shit that it would, you know, like a cobra inside of a room. Like, you know, those people that buy cobras and they have to have their apartments licensed for them? And like making sure that the every room is like locked and solid with hermetic seals. Like that. Why? So the cobra doesn't get out and bite a 3-year-old. I don't care if it bites a 30-year-old, that's a troll. But a 3-year-old, that's just sad. That 3-year-old had a chance to not become a dick. Because we're creating Hogwarts for that kid to go to a school where it can learn. All right, so that dragon yolk should be being poured on. Not even dragons like to create dark shit. Just let that yolk come through. It should feel nice and heavy and hearty. All right, that's it for the yolk. Dragon egg part 1, the yolk.